Hi, welcome to class. We're the only two right now, but the other ones will show up eventually, right? I hate my life. I hate my life.
And Professor Sunrise Productions!
Hello class, Professor Sunrise here. In today's class, I don't have any pants on. Also, we're gonna take a look at a punk virtual world list I've been cooking up with. Honestly, this is my preferred way to go to right now post Power of the Elements, just because of the insane amount of consistency the deck offers. I made a build so that it's slightly more than 40, it is 50 cards, so which is of course something which Virtual tries not to do. But with the new punk cards being all one-card starters into your Virtual engine, I feel like it is fine, because I play like 9 one-card starters, so essentially we just up the count to 50 with just a shit ton of one-card starters. The deck's able to play a shit ton of hand traps, it still has access to everything good you want in an Omni Negate and a Snow. So without further ado, don't forget to like and subscribe, leave some feedback down below, and let's get right into the profile. So here we are in the profile. Let's just take a look at card by card and then get into the thought process all behind this. So for the Virtual engine, I'm still on all names maxed out. I tried playing with this without a Lily, but honestly I didn't really like it. So with one less Lily, not without Lily. Just because we are playing the John Woo, making it so that Lily actually is like probably the second best name after Lulu, just because it gives you access to so much graveyard setup. Still only one Neon. With the new punk support, Neon becomes even more accessible, just because you can search it if you already have a Lulu heart drawn, or if you have enough names and really need the Neon. And of course you don't really want to draw this, especially with the punk cards being normal summon reliant. We really don't want to draw this. Next, of course, 3 Kowloon, 2 Qinglong. Thought about upping the Qinglong count just because we want additional ways to get virtuals on the field, which don't require normal summon. And also the punk engine does require a discard, so getting a Qinglong early on in the graveyard is quite good, making it so that the first Lulu, for example, can do the send Chucha at Kowloon play more reliably, even if you don't have any additional name. But in the end, this is like a very bad card to draw, of course. It does nothing on its own, so I ultimately decided not to up it. It could change, so this is still something I'm willing to tinker with. For the traps, 2 Chucha and 1 John Woo. I've been on the fence about this card. I'm still not 100% sure, but in the 50 card, I feel like it just makes sense to play that 1 additional rig, because the main combo does actually use it, which I'm of course gonna show you later on. I just really feel like this makes sense, especially because we are on 50 cards and we do have that extra space and have the extra buffer zone for bricky cards which we can play. For the punk engine, 3 emergency teleport, of course, the best starter of the deck, 3 Z Almond, 3 Ogre Dance, 1 Foxy Tune, 1 Deer Note. I'm not 100% sure. I've only tested it for like 3 nights so far, but in theory this punk engine feels super consistent, and also it plays through 1 low impact hand trap quite easily. You just, if you have an emergency teleport, you have next to no investment, so you don't care if the Yaman gets hit. And if you draw anything, any other of these, any other of these 4, so Ogre Dance and Foxy Tune, just the Almond plays through 1 hand trap, because if they ash the Almond, you are just able to search something else. But now, then again, it is something you have to keep in mind, because Ogre Dance can't actually search a Foxy Tune. So maybe I will down the count here, maybe cut the Ogre Dance completely, even though it feels quite nice. Maybe I would cut like 2 out of these. Who knows? I really like the punk engine. The downside of it being very normal summon reliant, if you play more of them, is definitely something which comes up going second. So you gotta keep that in mind going second. I am still not 100% sure of what to side out, but it's definitely heavily on the punk part of the engine, just because going second is super hard to get it through, even though we are playing a quite good amount of hand traps. It's just super hard to make the punk engine go through going second, and then it locking you your normal summon or taking away your normal summon just doesn't feel good enough. So it would probably cut 1 Z Almond, maybe all of the Ogre Dances, something like that, but this is still something which I'll have to work on. Then for the hand traps, we are able to play a shit ton of hand traps. This is also the main reason why I feel like this version of the deck might be better than the Brave version. Just because we have space for a shit ton of hand traps, and with way higher consistency because we're able to normal summon the Armin, therefore having way more starters into the Punk engine, which of course increases our consistency insanely well. So for the hand traps, we have 3 Ash, 3 Imperm, 3 Veiler, 3 Gamma, 2 Ogre. You definitely want to play this. It is searchable by the Dragon driver. You can get it with the Armin, and it's quite good in the next format against Blight. So you definitely want to have at least one of them in your main deck. And then of course the 1 driver for the Gamma. And I am playing 1 Galaxy Cyclone, which is definitely a very interesting card. This is mainly here because you can attach it with Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord. I really wanted it because it makes it so that the Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord is negate and destroy, because if it has a Galaxy card, if the detached material was the Galaxy card, you destroy the card, which is especially more important because I cut the Crystal Wing package just to make space for the Beatrice Barone package to still have access to an Omni-Negate. So I thought this was a very good card to play. Even in the main deck, it is just a one-off. Going second, oftentimes this will just be an MST, which even has extra value in that next turn I can pop like a Floodgate. Without the Brave package, we also like less interaction against back row, against Floodgate, so having that 1 additional Galaxy Cyclone could be very nice. So overall, I feel like this is definitely something you should consider playing one-off in the main deck. You could even side more, but I don't feel like it's worth it. There's way better back row disruption out there. And then lastly, for the level 4 package, I play 1 Trick Clown and 1 Snow. Snow is the main reason I felt like this version of the deck was not good enough, because firstly I decided to play without Snow, and with Dark Ruler probably being the go-to defensive staple in the next format, you really want to have 2 disruption through a Dark Ruler. So of course we still have the 1 Chucha, we always have that, and then in Stamper Phase we can send a Snow. Thanks to the Punk cards, the Snow is always quite easily resolved in this list, I feel like. So we have the Snow and the Chucha as a disruption through a Dark Ruler, which is insane. And then you really need something for Beatrice to be worth to send in your turn, which is where the Trick Clown comes in. So Beatrice kind of functions still same role as in the Brave list, where you dump like level 4 and ways to get to level 4, so you can start to go into your Synchro 10. So in your turn, you you dump a Trick Clown, you go into a Barone line, and then in the opponent's standby phase or draw phase, you dump a Snow, giving you a very good amount of disruption, and most importantly, giving you access to an Omni-Negate, so you don't automatically lose to 1 evenly match. For the extra deck, side deck, we will definitely just ignore. It's still super format dependent, and we don't know the format exactly. For the extra deck, we have 1 Hulky Fibrax. For the Punk combo, same as Formula Synchron into the Amazing Dragon. This hasn't even come up in testing, because a lot of times the deck is just too consistent, man, and we just go into a Photon Lord, and then have like a Kowloon or another E-Teller or a normal summon to go into the Virtual World engine. So this hasn't come up, but in theory I feel like this combo is still super strong, just because it makes the 1-card combo so much stronger against everything where Shenshin is not really good at. Because the 1-card combo, like I said, ends on Hulky Fibrax, Shenshin, Chucha. So if you play against Blight, this does nothing. But if you play that 1 Formula Synchron, you can quick Synchron with the Hulky Fibrax into a Formula Synchron, draw 1, and then Formula Synchron plus Amazing Dragon go into plus Shenshin go into Amazing Dragon, bounce 2 cards, even 3 if you have a Neon Engrave, and then you are pretty good to go against the Blight deck, because they really struggle to recover from disruption like that, especially because you still have 1 Chucha with that. But this is still something I am not 100% sure if this could also be a Crystal Wing package, for example. I have to test more and see how many times it comes up. This plays like super into Nibiru, but then again, Nibiru is probably gonna be out of the format, at least for the beginning, so who knows. Of course, we have the 1 Jam Dragon Driver. The second effect of it being able to resummon itself if your opponent does something on a Punk activation, sadly won't come up even with the big Punk engine, just because the Punk engine post turn 1 doesn't actually do something. You can definitely grind with it. You can make like you get a level 3 tuner with it and maybe like some card advantage, but if the opponent is smart, they will not chain to it, just because they should know that you don't really have a lot to do with the Punk stuff post turn 1. which is why I maybe want to play like a bigger Punk engine, maybe play like an additional Foxy Tune or something. But it's tough. Who knows? I also really want to play the Shakuzai, but I just don't have the extra deck space for that one fusion, because I feel like I still need everything in this extra deck. Maybe you could cut one Fanfan, and then you can play a Shakuzai. That way you can better play into hand traps with the Punk engine. Definitely something to keep into consideration. For the Synchro 6s, we have a Charge Warrior, we have a Coral Dragon, we have a Juju, Synchronized Shenchen, of course. Now for Xyz, Break Sword, I still feel like this should be played, especially with the Punk cards. The armor being a level 3, so that if it gets disrupted going second, you can extend with like a Kowloon and a GG, go into a Break. Yeah, which is definitely something which could come up against with tier elements being in the meta. So I'm still not 100% sure I want to cut this, but like I said, this could be cut for a Shakuzai play. I'll have to test more with the deck and see which of the extra deck options actually come up in a real scenario. One Zeus, you would always play this, and then the Beatrice Barone line, which I'm gonna showcase you right now. So stay tuned for that. So for this combo, we will just start out with any virtual name which is not Laulau and a Kowloon. And this will be the go-to combo, which can be extended off with one additional name, making so that you will end on an additional Shenchen. But let's just start out with one Kowloon. Sending you a Chucha. Then you do Lily on the Chucha. You will send a Qinglong and a Nian. Where is that thing? Here it is. Special summoning the Lily. Then you use one discard. Let's say we have here a discard, because of course we have 5 cards in hand. We use the Qinglong. Search out the Lulu. And go into pitch the Lily. Lulu on the Chucha will be sending another Qinglong for next turn, of course, and adding a GG, which of course is something you want to put an insane amount of value on. GG, it's probably the most important virtual to resolve after Lulu, just because you want the grind. GG on the Lulu will be sending the new addition to the deck, at least for my part, John Woo. Summon that, and now we go into a Charge Warrior. Effect Charge Warrior, draw 1, which is very cool because we want to be have that extra discard for the John Woo. We will be sending a Trick Clown. Effect Trick Clown, pay 1000, summon itself, and then we activate John Woo, pitching the Laulau or the card we have drawn. Let's just say we have had another card in here, because then we can show what the Laulau does at the end of the combo. Summon the GG, effect Nian. We of course discard the one card we have, so that's 2 discard, but we've already drawn 1 card, and now we go with GG and Nian into a Coral Dragon. Effect Nian, you probably want to recycle a Qinglong. John Woo is probably not as important in a grind game, but it doesn't really matter what you recycle here too much, just because Chuchu will also recycle. And then Coral and Trick Clown go into Barone. Effect Coral to draw, so that's the second draw. We had 2 discards. We started with 2 cards in hand, so we would have 3 cards in hand by now. And then if we had, like I said, additional name, a Laulau could go into on the future sending. It doesn't really matter. You can't really send something worthwhile here anymore. You would probably just send a Lily or something. It doesn't matter. You want to revive the GG, and then you can make a Shenchen next to it, which is like the extension. So this is the standard combo of Barone, Chucha, and Beatrice, and then the opponent's standby phase. Like I said, you can use Beatrice effect, send Snow, and then you look at the graveyard setup. You can use Snow effect, you can banish all the extra deck stuff. 1, 2, you can banish the discards you had, for example, the hand traps. 3, the Trick Clown doesn't really come up anymore. 5, then you can attach, for example, the one extra Laulau play you had. How many we are at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you just look, okay, I don't really need that. I have an additional name in the form of Lily. Let's banish that. And then effect Snow. Book something. We have a Chucha. We have an Omnigate to protect our play. And this is just the bare minimum. And like I said, we had 3 cards in hand with it. With a lot of hand traps which you play, a lot of card draw. With the draw 2, you will most of the time will draw into at least 1 hand trap. So this board plays super well into a Dark Ruler, just because we have so many disruptions which are not actually on the field, and should just play incredibly well into the Blight matchup. I've tested against Blight a little bit with the deck. If you want some replays with that, definitely let me know in the comments. I can give you a few and I can play out more with a more refined list, of course. But overall, this plays very well into Blight, just because Blight struggles the most with spot removal. Getting rid of the level 2s gets them out of the game. Against the elements, I still have to test a little bit, but overall this deck feels incredibly well, and it plays so consistently good into hand traps even. Going second, it does struggle a little bit if you don't draw the hand traps, just because the Punk engine is very susceptible going second. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick update on the Punk virtual list post Path of the Elements. I'm definitely very eager with the deck. I feel like it is gonna be a very good meta call next format. The support is amazing. We just gotta find out the best way to play it. So you guys are dismissed. Don't forget to like and subscribe as always. And class is out. Professor Sunrise out. Peace.